Hi everyone, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom Uvorach. In this week's Parasha Emor, we read about all of the laws that pertain to Kohanim. And we find a very interesting halakha. The Torah writes that a Kohen that has a blemish, that's crippled, is not allowed to work in the Bet HaMikdash. The question is why? Why can't he work in the temple? I mean, just because he's crippled, just because he's physically handicapped, does that indicate anything about his spirituality, about his righteousness? After all, God's the one that created him handicapped, and now God's restricting him from entering the temple like all the other Kohanim? You don't want me to serve you? You don't want me to work for you, God? Is that fair? I mean, make the Beit HaMikdash wheelchair accessible. Figure it out. There were ramps in there. What's the problem? But I think there's a very powerful message. What was a Kohen's job? A Kohen is, I guess you would say, the spiritual therapist. He was the person that brought people closer to God. When someone was struggling with their Jewish identity, with God, when they had issues with their spirituality, with their soul, Kohen was there. They would come into the Beit HaMikdash, and the Kohen would grab this person, and they would put their arm around them, and they would give them some type of Tony Robbins talk, and inspiring, and help them get closer to Hashem. Right? The word korban, by the way, comes from the word karov, kiruv, outreach. The Kohen was an outreach master. He would help people get karov, closer to God. But that's only a person that comes into the Beit HaMikdash for help. A lot of people don't want help. A lot of people don't know that they need help. A lot of people stay outside. There's a lot of lost, crippled, broken people that will never come into the Beit HaMikdash. What about those people? What about those Jews? What about those souls? God says, I care about those people too. And so God says to the crippled Kohen, you don't serve in the Beit HaMikdash, not because I don't want you to serve me, not because you don't have a mission. Oh, no, opposite. You have the hardest mission. You have the greatest mission of them all. Your mission, your service is outside of the temple. It's out there on the streets to the people that don't even want to come in here. That's your job. That's your avodah. And that is how that Kohen actually is able to serve God. After all, who better to help a crippled soul than a crippled Kohen? He is able to relate and to help that person out of his low place and bring him back to Kadosh Baruch Hu. You see, like Kohanim, every one of us is an ambassador. Every one of us has a mission. And sometimes we have an image, we have a vision of what that mission should look like. And sometimes we are like a crippled Kohen. We have challenges, struggles, problems. And we wonder, we complain, we say, God, it's not fair. Why'd you give me the struggle? Why are you kicking me out of the Beit HaMikdash? Why don't you want me to serve you? And the answer is, God says, no, I want you to serve me, but in a different way than maybe you would have imagined. But ultimately, my friends, every one of us is here to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to dig deep and find what are the tools that God gave us. Ultimately in life, my friends, we have to be willing to forget the life that we planned for a better one that God planned for us. Shabbat Shalom.